Good morning, everybody. This is Tonetta coming to you with my first actual show episode, Tea Time with Tonetta. I know I talked about this last week as far as me getting started with the videos, with my actual show that I want to start. So that's the name that I chose, Tea Time. It may not be that name for long, but that's the name that I have right now that I thought about last week. This first topic is about getting started. And the reason why I picked this because I know I'm just getting started with these videos. And sorry, excuse me, y'all, because I don't know what this is, but I have a skylight thing in my bathroom, and this doggone light is so bright. There's no sun coming through the window, but all of a sudden there's like a bright light all above my, I don't know, like up in the thing. So just excuse me for the light. You should still be able to see me anyway. Hopefully, well, I can see myself, so you all should be able to see me anyway. And thank you, Wendy, for tuning in as well. Happy Sunday to you as well. But as far as the topic of getting started, this was the first video that I said I had to do because it took me a long time to get this started. I guess I put it that way. I've been doing live videos maybe about a year and a half now, thanks to Mike Chavez and Live Masters. That's where I first started doing my live videos. And good morning, Sis Mario. Thank you for joining as well. So that took me a while to get started. Of course, I was nervous to go live the first time and that kind of thing, but I still did it anyway. So that was awesome. But as far as me getting my own type of show or program started, it's been in the works for a little while, I guess I'd say that. And I know I'm not the only one who wants to start things and put it off, procrastinate for whichever reasons. Of course, a lot of people, include myself, with all these I'm going to talk about shortly. And thank you, Eric, for tuning in as well. We always say that we don't have the right finances to get started, or we don't have the right quiet time to get started, all those kind of things. It's not the perfect time. We have kids at home. It's too loud, or it's this or that, or we have somebody else in the household. All these kind of excuses. Like I said, those are excuses that I've used as well, or I have said as well. And I knew at some point that I couldn't keep using those excuses. I guess I put it that way, and that it was just me just saying those things because I was kind of nervous and didn't know where this was all going to go at first. I guess I still have no idea where it's going to go. I just started anyway. I said, hell with that. I'm not going to keep on giving excuses. However it's going to go, it's just going to go. So that's why I got started. That was last Monday. I made my one of the videos talking about what I'm planning on doing with the coaching, with these videos and that kind of thing. So like I said, sometimes it's just for us just to go ahead and just get started, no matter what we have in place, no matter the lack of finances we may have, no matter the lack of, I don't know, video equipment. I'm using my cell phone, so I don't have like a good camera or whatever they're called, like the video cameras and that kind of thing. You can use your cell phone for anything. So I'm using my cell phone. So like I said, that's not an excuse. So I was, of course, like I said, kind of procrastinating as far as me. Of course, I'm going through a lot of stuff right now, trying to get things in order in my personal life and that kind of thing. But at some point, I realized that sometimes all that chaos just throws us into things. And we have to get started in order to give ourselves a different perspective into what we want to do, how we want to see our life, or how we want to see things projected. So like I said, that's why I got started. And I know I've been posting this week as well on my page about people, well, just about in general, about getting started, about doing things, and just taking just getting the belief in yourself to just go ahead and do something. Because I know that's, like I said, that's hard for a lot of people, including myself. I've started businesses. Of course, I've closed the business, that kind of thing. But the coaching business, I was talking about that maybe, this was even before I even did my first video on Live Masters. So that was back in like 2000, like mid 2016. And of course, I'm a social worker, so I have all this experience. I know I've been doing coaching for years, almost 20 years now, actually. But they just call us social work in the positions that I was doing. So it took me, another year and a half, almost 2 years to actually want to go ahead and actually start a coaching business. I guess I put it that way. I haven't legally started the business yet. I will say that. But that's in the works as well, as soon as I get a few things in order as far as the actual, because I have to have a name and all that kind of stuff legally to go ahead and try to go ahead and start this business. So that I have to have. So if anybody has a name besides transformational coaching, please let me know. Please send me some names or anything that you think would be a good name. That's fine. I will definitely take suggestions. But like I said, it's definitely getting started with will not be this month. In February, it's going to be back, hopefully like in the month of April, or about the month of April. But with that, I do want to talk to you all about, like I said, I talk to a lot of people all the time as far as like life and different things that's going on, clients of mine, different friends, people, family, that kind of thing as well. And I know it's hard for people to get started. Sometimes there's a lack of belief that they have in themselves. that they can actually do these things, that they can actually, whether it's to start this coaching business or to actually start these, doing like a live video show every week, or if it's to actually start doing, I guess, drawing and selling your art and all those kind of things. Yes, that is very difficult sometimes to get those things started, but it's not impossible. There's a lot of people who have started many of coaching business, artist business, drawing business, writing businesses, all that kind of stuff before me and before you, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more afterwards. So like I said, at some point we just have to, if you have to say it as an affirmation every day, I know I can do this, I believe in myself, I trust myself to make whatever choices I'm going to make. If you have to say that every single day, just go ahead and do that and start somewhere. Like I said, we just have to start somewhere. There's a lot of times, I mean, like I said, I talked to a lot of people. And actually, let me tell you all a story that I had a very interesting week, actually. What was today? Sunday. Let me see. This was like Thursday or Friday. I think it was last Friday. Had a very interesting conversation with some people about them getting started, actually. Actually, it was a mother and daughter. The daughter was taking care of the mom and things like that. And she was about my age and was just, we got to talking about different things. And she was letting me know about her getting started with her life. I guess I put it that way. She's almost 40 years old. And, of course, haven't been married, no kids, that kind of thing. And just been taking care of everybody all her life. I guess I put it that way. Now she's taking care of her mom. I'm not saying that she's ungrateful or that kind of thing at all. She loves her mother. Her mother was sitting right there. She loves her mother. But she was just saying that it's just time for her to start her own life. And like I said, it's we actually talked for almost 2 hours, actually, about this, actually, because I have experienced the same things. I guess I'd say that. And not just me. I know there's a lot more women. I can't speak for the men, but I know there's a lot more women out there, probably over 35, who've experienced things like this. You've been taking care of, whether it's your kids or family or taking care of your household, raising yourself for most of your life, and you just get to a point where you just get tired of doing that. I mean, it's not that you don't love anybody. It's not that you don't care for anybody. You just get tired, and you're ready to just live your life and do what you want to do for yourself. Like I said, we had the most interesting conversation because I hadn't talked to anybody about, well, I talked to a few people about it, I think, throughout the last year or so, that kind of thing. But that's when I actually started going on the journey that I was going on. That was last year, actually. And that was one of the catalysts for me to actually start that. Or I guess it just came about. But, I mean, in order for me to finish that, I guess I put it that way and keep on working this journey. I guess I'd say that. It was, of course, getting to a point where, I guess, let me see how to put this. Okay, because everybody in your past, of course, there's usually a lot of people, your friends, your family, the ones that you're closest to, who usually see you in a different light. They see you as the person that you used to be, the person, good morning, Mary, and good morning, Kathy. Thank you both for tuning in. The person that you used to be, the person that you, I guess I can just speak from my own experiences, the person who's always taking up the slack for everybody else, or whether it's in my household or somebody else's household, family, friends, that kind of thing. Taking care of somebody else's children. Because back when I was 16, 17 years old, actually, I was raising an infant from the hospital for about a year and a half, 2 years almost, until I went to college and those kind of things. And that was nothing that I wanted to do. I mean, it was given to me, yes. I wasn't going to neglect my family, that kind of thing at all. So I did that. Like I said, some of the other things, like with the neighbors, of course, I took care of some of their kids as well. And those are my choices. I guess I'd say that. But like I said, at some point, me, of course, having to raise myself, because I did have parents at home, but there was a lot of struggles with parents, I guess them parenting, as far as them not being sober enough to, they can, of course, run the household to a certain extent. But it was mainly me, of course, making sure that, did y'all pay the bills? Did you pay this? Or did you do that? Or making sure we have food? Or wasn't going starving, because sometimes we didn't have food. And sometimes we didn't have lights and gas and was evicted or that kind of thing as well. So like I said, I was, to me, in my eyes, the way I looked at things, they may not have seen it that way, and other family may not have seen it that way. But in my eyes, I was the one that was, of course, trying to maintain the household. I guess I put it that way. And that's always has been since I was young, very young, actually. And as far as living on my own, trying to do things on my own, and just taking care of the household with whoever it was. I was, of course, married at one point. I'm divorced now. I've been divorced almost 10 years now. But, I mean, of course, in another relationship, that kind of thing. And it just gets to a point where, of course, your family, in-laws, friends, that kind of thing, usually depend on you for doing certain things. Whether that was, because I was very bad at one point, giving rides, and, oh, so-and-so needs to go to the store, and I got to do this, and just on the go all the time, busy with everybody else's issues and everybody else's things that they had going on. I guess I put it that way. And like I said, I spoke up a little bit. It wasn't, I didn't speak up all the time. I guess I'd say that. Because, of course, it was getting on my nerve. I knew that already, because I was sick and tired of doing everything for everybody else. But then when it came to me, there was nobody around, or didn't have anybody to talk to, or didn't have anybody to take me to the store or do whatever I need to do. My car was down or that kind of thing. So, like I said, I had to get to that point where I was just like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. And that point was actually last year, I guess I put it that way, actually. Over the years, of course, I kind of stopped as far as the rides and doing all these things, that kind of thing. But, and still taking care of everybody else's needs before mine, that was still an issue. And like I said, I can only speak for me with this, and I know I'm not the only woman, probably over 35, over 40, that has been through things like this, or that's still going through things like this. I guess I put it that way. But at some point, like I said, I had to make a decision, make a choice that I was going to have to live for myself instead of everybody else first. And yes, that means that the same I talked to this young lady about last week, because she was saying that she's deciding that, but her other aunts are upset with her, don't understand why she doesn't want to come back down to like the state that she was living in before, to help take care of I think it was the grandfather and the uncle and some other family members and all this kind of stuff. And she said she's just tired. And like I said, at some point, I can't say speak for everybody, but I know for myself, at some point, I just was very tired. I guess I'd say that. And realizing that I'm stressed out and I'm worried about everybody else and all this stuff going on. And I'm like, okay, what about myself in this whole picture? And that's on top of me being a social worker, of course. Being a social worker, that's very, very demanding. I don't know if anybody on here is a social worker, but of course, I was dealing with in the jobs that I've had. I don't bring the work home at all, but except for this story I'm telling you all right now. But other than that, I don't bring the work home at all. But there's a lot of things that you see as far as, because I worked with the state doing foster care for about almost 8 years, testifying in court. It was child abuse, neglect cases, stuff like that. And there was a lot of stuff that you see as far as infants being sexually abused, physically abused, kids all the way up to age 21, actually. I guess I put it that way because that's who I dealt with. Placing the kids in foster care, different places throughout the state of Missouri. Then I went to work at a transitional housing program for single moms. And like I said, it's a lot of things that you see. Some of the single moms that were sexually abused, a lot of trauma that happened, domestic violence. A lot of them were teenagers, actually. So they were still being beaten by their boyfriends, and things were going on, and abused by family members and mothers and other people using them for their money and all the stuff that they're getting for their baby. But they were still taking care of those people before their own self and their kids. Like I said, being in social work is a lot of stuff that you have to learn how to, I guess, wipe out of your mind. I guess I put it that way. I mean, nothing really surprises me nowadays. I guess I can say that, considering all the stuff that I witnessed, all the stuff that I've been through professionally and personally, nothing actually surprises me anymore. I guess I'd say that. But like I said, taking on all that and knowing that's the field that I'm in, and then, of course, dealing with family life and all the things that are going on, and realizing that I've lost myself somewhere along the way, as far as me not living the life that I need to live, I guess I put it that, or should be living and wanted to live, I guess I put it that way. Like I said, I know I'm not the only one who's been through that, because I've talked to a lot of women who I shouldn't have had kids, or I shouldn't have did this, or I should, like I tell them, that's fine, but you can always live your life at some point, I guess I put it that way, once you get things in order and figure out what it is that you really want to do. And like I said, I had to get to that point, realizing that, and I said this in a lot of videos I did last year, realizing that I've left myself along the way, and worrying about everybody else and what they're doing and what's going on, and trying to take care of everybody else instead of myself first. So like I said, that's the point that I had to actually get started, and that's what I got started on. That's part of my journey that I got started last year. Yes, it was one hell of a, I guess last year, I guess I put it that way, because a lot of things that I had to, of course, to me, had to start telling my truth and living my truth and speaking my truth. I mean, there's a lot of things and a lot of people, I'm not going to say a lot, but there are some people, of course, that may not still to this day understand the choices that I was making. I guess I put it that way, as far as why I wanted to end things with different people, whether it's a relationship or a job, or because I've done that as well, or stop doing things for people. I guess I put it that way. Of course, always being there to pick up the slack for somebody, whether it's a bill or whether it's this or whether it's that, or car broken down, let me give you so-and-so to go ahead and get your car, or going on vacation, oh, I got to pay for this now because so-and-so didn't have enough. You know, at some point, I had to stop all that shit. I mean, I know that's not what everybody had to do, but like I said, in my case, and this getting started, why I want to do this video this morning, there's a lot of people out there I know that are going through similar things as well. And like I said, you're definitely not by yourself, because I've gotten messages from some people, that kind of thing as well, or text messages included, and on social media about some of the things that I've talked about, some of the things that I've posted and how it's impacted their life. But like I said, at some point you have to realize that you're the number one in your own life, and that if you get sick or if something happens to you, because I saw some other things last week too, as far as somebody being exerting their power, I guess I put it that way, in order to in somebody else's work position. I guess I'd say that. I guess that's what they wanted to do. I mean, when you're working for somebody, or whether it's a family business or a business that you're not the actual manager or the supervisor or the CEO, yes, there's always going to be some issues as far as you not being able to say what you want to say and not get fired or those kind of things as well. Sometimes that is the case. And that's what I saw as well. But like I said, you have to, at some point, get started. I mean, if you want to speak up, go ahead. That's also fine. But at some point, you have to realize there are, of course, consequences to everything. Just like there's consequences, I guess, to speaking up at work or speaking up in your own business or whatever you're doing. You have to get started somewhere. Whether that's speaking up in your relationship or relationship with, I guess, like whether it's a marriage or just a committed relationship or relationships with others, relationship with your kids. Like I said, all those things, and with your family as well, because they're the ones who have the biggest, sometimes the biggest impact on you as far as the choices that you're making, the choices that you're going to make, especially if it's not going to involve them anymore and feeding to their wants and needs all the time anymore. I guess I'd say that. And like I said, that's what this young lady is starting to experience, and that's what I have experienced as well. But like I said, at some point you have to get started. I mean, whether it's, because there is no perfect time to start anything. There is no perfect time that you're going to have everybody out of the household that you can just go ahead and start whatever you want to start, or there's no perfect time that you're going to have all the money in the world to go ahead and get this, I guess I'll use my coaching business started, or there's no perfect time where you're not going to have anybody bothering you that you just can't get started. You just have to get started. Like I said, it's either you get started with your life and what you're going to do, or you just let everybody run your life for you. I guess I'd say that. And like I said, at some point you will get tired of hopefully, I can't speak for everybody because I know some people are 60, 70 years old still doing the same thing and still living for everybody else. That's their choice. You cannot change that. But for those who are looking to get started with something, like I said, you just have to do it. Just like Nike says, just do it. They've always had that slogan, is putting actions behind all the words and all the things that you want to do. Whether that means you're going to be ending relationships, I've in the process of doing that. Sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you're not working on the same wavelength. And yes, it's very hurtful to actually tell somebody that if it's a marriage, because I've ended a marriage as well. I mean, if it's a marriage or a committed relationship, sometimes you have to do those things in order for you to do what you want to do. Sometimes those people can, of course, hold you back from doing different things or not being supportive and kind of putting you down at times that you can't do this or that sounds stupid or don't understand where you're going with things. I guess I put it that way. And if you have it set in your mind, like I had it set in my mind, I'm going to do what the hell I want to do at this present point on, I guess I'd say that. No matter what everybody else used to see me doing in the past, or I wasn't an angel, of course. I mean, I had bad tempers and all this kind of stuff going on, but I'm sure everybody else, a lot of people did as well. But like I said, at some point, you have to just say, forget that, forget them, because folks are going to put you in a box that they always have known you in. So if my family see me in the same box as far as helping all the time, raising this person, helping this person, doing this, and not doing for myself, that's what they're always going to see me as. And like I said, at some point I had to make the decision between them and me, and it was, of course, going to be me. Like I said, I know that's hard for some people to, especially those who are close to me, to understand. But like I said, that's something I'm doing right now at this present point. So I guess I put it that way. And I know folks are going to be mad, or which they have been, or may have attitudes, or may get upset, or may not talk to me anymore, and that's fine, because one I know kind of isn't talking to me much anymore, which is fine. And I just was a friend of mine, actually. But like I said, that's fine. But things like that will happen. And the same thing I was telling this young lady, that things like that are going to happen. It's going to be with your family, because that's who she's really close to. Her aunts are not understanding why she's wanting to not come back down south to take care of the other family members, and she's already taking care of her mother. So I'm like, okay, you can't take on all these things. And that was the same thing that she was telling me. She's just tired. And like I said, same thing like I told her, at some point, you're going to either have to decide what you're going to do, whether you're going to continue down the path that you're constantly, I guess, that you're still continuing down, that you're unhappy with, or you want happiness, you want to go ahead and do your own thing. And of course, her mother was sitting right there. She was saying the same thing, that she's tired of seeing her daughter raise everybody and take care of everybody. And she wants to see her daughter live her life, and she wants grandkids. Of course, I guess if her daughter wants to have kids, but the mom wanted grandkids and wanted to see her happy and in a relationship and married and that kind of thing. So I mean, like I said, at some point, like she says she'll be thinking about it and trying to still see which ways that she can change some things and switch some things and talk to her other extended family to let them know what's going on and better explain it to them. Because like I said, sometimes people just don't understand where you're trying to go. I understand why. Well, I guess with me, I understand where I'm trying to go as well. But there are some people who are not going to agree with that, or you're not going to have the money to travel across the world. How are you going to do these things? Black folks don't do those things. Because I've gotten some of those responses in the past. But like I said, there's all kind of folks who do all kind of things, and I've seen it happen, so I know that it's possible. Like I said, I guess in getting started with anything, I know I didn't have a lot of role models, I guess I put it that way, as far as being like in my family or people I was close to, friends, that kind of thing. But the role models that I saw were always on TV. Back when I was a kid, like the, what is it called, The Cosby Show, and like different world. They're all in college, they're going to school and trying to be all these things, pledging to sororities and fraternities, and some of the shows like the Travel Channel and stuff like that, saw people just traveling all across the world, and like, I'm going to do those things one day. And people were like, no, you can't do those things. It's not for black people, and we don't do that kind of stuff in this family, that kind of thing. I got those kind of responses, but I know that's some people's limited thinking. I know that, but my thinking was never limited like that. What I saw everybody else doing, whether it was going traveling or, I don't know, doing whatever they wanted to do, starting businesses, that kind of thing, or becoming a doctor, or becoming an attorney, or whatever. I always knew those kind of things were possible. Like I said, in getting started with anything that you want to do, you don't have to have anybody that you know personally that has done, whether it's to get married or, I don't know, to start a business or that kind of thing. There's all kind of role models, as I know, that I see online every day, the different things that they're doing, different folks that's on my friends list that are coaches already, or that are speaking already, or they have their own show, like Miss Jacqueline, if she's still on here. She has her own show as well that she airs every week. So like I said, those are my role models, people that I see doing things that I have in my mind that I want to do. So like I said, just in getting started, just remember that you don't have to always keep doing what you've been doing because people said that you're going to have to, in your family or friends, that you should be taking care of these people, or you should be doing this, or you should be doing that, and don't worry about that, and you'll get to this later, and putting yourself last all the time. Like I said, just keep in mind that you can always make that choice to put yourself first. You just have to get the willpower and the strength, of course, to do it, because I know it's going to be hard, and you're going to get a lot of pushback depending on how big your family is, if you have kids, or if you have a committed partner, or you have a marriage, that kind of thing. Yes, you will get a lot of pushback from those people, especially if your time and your energy is going to be taken away from those people and put to yourself. And they're going to be like, oh, you're being selfish, or you're conceited, or whichever the case may be. And that's not the case at all. You're just trying to love yourself and love who you are, and get to know who you are, and get to know what you want to do, I guess, in life. So just remember that you don't have to just be stuck in the same bubble that you've always been stuck in. Like I said, I was like that for a long time. I'm 42 years old now, but like I said, I was like that for a long time. Just like, oh my God, what if I just up and leave? What are they going to do? What's going to happen? Are they going to be able to fend for themselves? Well, as of last year, like I said, I really don't care at this point. I'm not saying that I don't love anybody, I don't like anybody, that kind of thing at all. But at this point, like I said, the same thing that young lady said last week, that she had to I guess, same thing Jacqueline just said. You have to do what you got to do. Yes, I know that it's going to be a big change. I guess I put it that way as well. And what I'm getting started to do, that kind of thing, of course, I have to make sure that I'm going to be here every Sunday, which I am for these videos at 10 o'clock. And I think I started earlier this week, but that's fine, whatever. But around 10 o'clock, I guess I put it that way. But it should be about like 5 minutes to 10, or like a little bit after 10. So, like I said, I just have to make sure that I'm going to keep on doing that, which I know I am. But like I said, that's something I'm going to have to dedicate my time to. It's not going to be, of course, whether I'm sick or not, that's fine. I just will still be on here doing it anyway. Like I said, that's something that I know that's going to help me in the long run. Like I said, thanks to Mike Chavez and Lab Masters, that's where I started back in 2016. That was back in, the fall 2016. Because I probably wouldn't have been doing the live videos now if it wasn't for him, and somebody introduced me to him, actually. So that is awesome. So if you all see him, or see him like on my news feed, just give him a shout out, or a thumbs up, that kind of thing as well. Because like I said, he's an awesome person as well, and got me on this part of this trajectory as well, as far as the speaking on the video and getting comfortable with it, that kind of thing too. So, but like I said, in life, the same thing Jacqueline said, you just have to do what you got to do. And it will hurt a lot of people, I'm sure, especially, like I said, if you have family, close family, husband, kids, because they're not going to understand what's going on. They're going to feel like you're betraying them and that kind of thing, which it may seem like that. But like I said, you have to do what you have to do and live your life for yourself, no matter whether that's you want to get up and travel, or you want to just up and quit your job and do whatever you want to do. That's your choice. Go ahead and do it. That's how I look at it. Just go ahead and do it, especially if it's gonna make you happy and make you feel like you're living your life as true as you can to yourself. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. I'm trying to see what time it is. Yeah, go ahead and end this video. Thank you all for tuning in again. Let me see. Wendy, Maria, Eric, Avi, Mary, Kathy, Jacqueline, Bruce, and Boyd Barlow. I'm trying to make sure. And Kelly Klein, thank you all for watching this morning and tuning in. And for those of you who catch the replay, definitely do enjoy. And of course, leave comments, and I'll reply to everybody's comment. Won't be right now, but like sometime today, I will go back and reply to y'all's comments and that kind of thing as well. So if you do watch the replay, like I said, do enjoy and leave comments as well. And if anybody's out there that's struggling with trying to, of course, get something started, definitely you can reach out to me. I don't mind. Like I said, I am becoming a coach now, so you can definitely reach out to me. We can definitely work together in that process if you need. Just let me know what you're needing, and we can go ahead and get started with that as well. So like I said, thank you all for tuning in, and thank you, Cousin Walton, for tuning in. I'm actually about to end the video, but definitely catch the replay of this. And I love you all, and everybody have an awesome Sunday.